G'day, Methodist Dave here, professional theologian and Bible teacher, with our daily devotion for Monday, February 23rd, which means we're going to chapter 23 of the book of Proverbs, and I'm going to be reading verse 3 to you. We had a foot of snow here last night, and we had up to a foot and a half over to the ocean side by the coast, by Ocean City. That's where my mom lives. My home in the middle of the state. It was not quite as much snow, but it's about a foot here. And at least it's melting. Let me read to you verse 3 here. Do not crave the ruler's delicacies, for that food is deceptive. Pretty hard to tell that to a person who's living hand to mouth, where your daily calorie intake would be from bread. That would be your main food source. And it would be pita bread or small, like maybe naan bread, something like that. Not big loaves like we're used to. Maybe like porridge of beans or lentils. Very simple, meager diet. And to say, don't look at the table of the rich and wealthy who could afford to have meat, to have delicacies, have a variety of vegetables and fruits. Don't look upon their table with envy. It's deceptive. And that's a hard pill to take if you're thinking about food, but maybe it's talking about more than food. Maybe it's talking about don't be envious of what the wealthy have, because it's deceptive. Simon and Garfunkel had a song out a number of years ago called Richard Cory. And the refrain of the song was, everybody wants to be Richard Cory. Richard Cory has a great job. Richard Cory has money. Richard Cory has good looks. He's got a great woman. He's got a great house. He's got a great life. Everybody wants to be Richard Cory, except Richard Cory. And in the song, Richard Cory ends his life's journey early. And nobody could understand because they all wanted to be him. Everybody wanted to be Richard Cory except Richard Cory. And that's not unusual. People who have attained the pinnacle of success find it's not satisfying, it's deceptive. The food is deceptive. One of the greatest comedians who ever lived, Robin Williams, a man I grew up watching him on TV, Mork from Ork, Nanu Nanu, Shazbot, and all that stuff. He was so funny. I've seen his comedy stand-up routines, and he was hysterical. And he was improvised things. If you've ever seen the movie Aladdin, all of his lines, he made them up. That's all him improvising. The animators had to write the character around his ramblings. He gave them like 16 hours of dialogue that he just kept going and going in these one-liners. He was incredibly creative. And not only was he good in comedy and improvisation, but he could deliver drama. Some of his dramatic works, the movies that he played in, he played serious, straight roles. He played some comedic roles. He played straight drama roles. He played bad guys. He played good guys. He was a great actor. He had everything that you would want. Everybody wanted to be Robin Williams, except Robin Williams. He couldn't finish his journey. He ended it early too. So don't look at those who have and envy and long for what they have, because it's not always thrilling. I have been to some nice restaurants in my life. I've been to Hell's Kitchen in Atlantic City, where I had 5 of the smallest scallops I've ever served in a restaurant. I have never seen scallops that small eating out and fine, especially in fine dining. And the meal I had there was good. But a meal that I enjoy more is on a cold day like today, snowy day, is I crack open a can of Campbell's tomato soup. And instead of mixing it with water, I mix it with milk, put in a little pepper, fix myself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and have peanut butter and jelly and Campbell's creamy tomato soup. That is a fantastically delicious meal. I enjoy that as much or more than some of the fine dining meals I've had at some of the nicest restaurants in my region. I love that. Learn to appreciate the simple things in life. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be exotic for you to be able to enjoy it. Don't envy the wealthy. Their food is deceptive and unsatisfying. If you've got a question about this or any other subject, drop me an email, methodistdave@gmail.com. And why don't you take a look in your cupboard and see if you got a can of Campbell's tomato. Heat that up with some milk and fix yourself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and just dunk that peanut butter and jelly sandwich in the tomato soup and let me know what you think. I think it's fantastic. Tell me what you think. Don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe. And until tomorrow, please be good to each other.